Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Tech Talk Education. This is the fifth movie in a series of movies I'm doing showing you how to use Kali Linux to work with Metasploitable 2, which is a very, very unsecure Ubuntu distro. And so what we're going to do is work a little bit more with the SMB protocol. We're going to go down a little bit different track than we went down in the previous movie. And so it should be a lot of fun. You should learn a lot about what we're doing with SMB. And so let's get started. So before we get started actually in Kali Linux, Metasploitable, and pfSense, what I want to do is I want to talk a little bit about the server message block. This protocol has been around quite a while. It is fairly old, 20, 25 years old, and it was designed initially by Microsoft to be able to communicate between computers on the network, servers and things like that. And the idea is that we could share out printers and we could share out file folders and files themselves so that one could access these things from across the network. And that's the main idea behind server message block. So that's what we've got now. Now let me click this and get a new page here. Now we're talking about file and print sharing. And so the idea is that we can set up a printer that's hooked to a local workstation or a server, and we can share it out so that others can print to the printer. We can do the same thing with folders and with files. So that's the main idea behind this SMB tool. Also, though, we have, let me get a new slide here. It also allows for what's called authentication and authorization. These are two different things. So authentication means that you have to supply a username and a password to be able to access the resources within the share, whether it's a printer or a file or a folder. But authorization means what are you authorized to do? Can you delete that file? Can you just read it? Can you print it? Things like that. So SMB is responsible, provides mechanisms for users to authenticate to a file or a print share and then be authorized to perform certain tasks. And so the idea here is that we can authorize just certain things. So even though you're authenticated, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're authorized to do everything with a file or with a printer. Also, there's something called session establishment. Now, this is very much a client-server term. The idea is that you want to connect across the network to some device so that you can do something. You could run an app, or you could print, or you could grab a file, download it, whatever. So there's this idea of establishing a session between the client, which is you're attempting to hit the machine and do something, and then the server. And so that's the idea of client-server technologies. Also, there's this naming and discovery thing. Now, in the Windows world, it's called NetBIOS, a NetBIOS name. That's an old name. It's evolved over the years. But the idea is that a Windows computer has a name, and so you can attach to that name, and then you can connect to whatever shares are out on that particular server or workstation. This can happen between workstations as well. So you could have, a server sitting out there serving out printers and files, or you could have somebody sharing out a local share, and so others can come get like an Excel file or whatever. It's actually pretty common. Once you know about how to make sharing work on a computer, it's actually pretty cool. So that's the idea. We have to name it, and then we have to provide a way that one can discover a device and the shares that are on the device. Now, there's some security features that have been built in. SMB has been very, very hacked over the years. There's a lot of vulnerabilities for older versions of SMB, and so it's been modified we now have SMB 2.0, 2.1, SMB 3.0, and so, as vulnerabilities are found in the protocol, then they're fixed and a new edition comes out or a new feature comes out to fix that particular vulnerability. Now, the main thing I want you to know is that SMB is a Windows thing. However, because it is so useful, the idea that we can move files from one place to another across the network, Let me give you an idea. When I worked at a company, it was a very large company, and we had a huge floor full of Macintosh computers for the marketing department. We had an engineering department that used Linux computers, but we all needed to share files between one another and printers and things like that. And so we would use SMB for that. Now, when it's ported to Linux, it's given the name samba. It's like a dance. All it is a play on words. Samba is a Latin dance, and so they just did a little play on words and called it samba, and that's what we're going to use in our exploitation today. Well, okay, so here's the thing. I'm going to open up the Kali Linux terminal. I'm going to change to the root user. It's just a little bit easier when you're going to do a prolonged thing like this and you're going to look at some Metasploitable stuff. So I just do sudo su and change to root. Normally, I would not if I was just going to do a one-off type of thing. But here, since I'm working with Metasploitable and I want to learn a little bit more about it, I'm just going to temporarily change to the root user. Now, what I can do is I can run an nmap scan. If I do an ls here, I created this from my previous movie, and I will put up the link for you in this movie so that you can see what I did, how I did this nmap scan. But the idea is that I'm a bad guy. I'm not really a bad guy. What I'm trying to teach you to do is find these bad guys. And so what bad guys do is they think, and they're like, well, who can I hack? I want to make some money. I want to get back at somebody. I want to make a political statement, whatever. And so they go out and they kind of case the place. They look at the website for the company. They try to find information for who the stakeholders are in the company, the big guys, the executives. They might look at Facebook. They might look at LinkedIn, other places like that. They try to derive some information about the servers that are running, so they'll go out and do some DNS work. You might start by pinging the company's HTML name and then getting back an IP address and then take it from there. And so all that is reconnaissance. Then what you do is you enumerate the servers that you found. So in this case, we found this Metasploitable server, and we used nmap to enumerate it. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cat that file out to find out what Metasploit is running. And so I do this guy here, and I'm looking up through here to see if there's anything really cool that I can get a hold of. Well, as I'm looking here, I find that there is something interesting to me, and we've dealt with Samba before in a previous movie with using NetBIOS. But now what we want to do is take another look. There's a port 445 open, and it's running Samba, SMBD, that stands for daemon, and it's version 3.0.20. And so this might be kind of interesting to us. So we're going to spend the rest of this movie just looking at this particular item right here. So the first thing that I would probably want to do is I would want to go out to my Metasploitable machine and see if I can actually execute this without having to have any other type of software installed, not using Metasploit, anything like that, just to see if I can natively connect to this. Now there's a tool called the smbclient, and it's built into Kali. And then we put in attack cap L, and of course you would just execute the man page. You do man space smbclient to get more information about what attack L is doing for you. It's capital L. I do want to point out to you that we've got forward slashes here. So // is a Linux thing, and what we're doing is we're connecting to a Linux share. If I'm in the Microsoft world, it is /. And sometimes you'll see people call that a whack, so we say whack whack. But in our case, since we're dealing with Linux, we're dealing with a //. So remember, Windows /Linux/, and we type in the IP address of the Metasploitable box, and we hit enter. It wants a password. We don't know a password. Let's just see if it'll let us anonymously in. So we hit enter, and lo and behold, sure enough, look at this. There's some shares out here. Now, one thing you should know is that a share that has a $sign after it is a hidden share. You cannot see it unless you query the machine like we did here. There's a temp folder out here which is very interesting to us. temp is really a good hiding place for when we're going to do like an exploit or an auxiliary or something like that. And they even put a little funny hint here, oh no's. And then we've got an opt here for optional, and then IPC $, Internet Procedure Control, and then admin $. So the $ means that these are hidden. So we can't do much with it, but yes, we could natively hit it. So that's really good for us to know about. Okay, well, what if we said we want to search exploit for the word samba? Because we remember that this thing is running samba right here. And so let's see if search exploit brings anything to us along the lines of samba. And it does. There's quite a bit here. So if I'm looking here, I'm interested in 3.0.20, and it says that it's a text file, and I might have to go down the road a little bit and mess around with that and see if I can get that working. Let's see if we can get some more help here. So let's try, instead of doing this, I'm going to start MSF console and see what Metasploit can tell me. All right, so here I've started Metasploit, and I clear the screen. And now what I'm going to do is search for, now remember, it's not SearchSploit. SearchSploit is built into Kali. And what's really happening there is there's a database called exploit-DB. Exploit-DB is what you can Google for. And Kali has a local version of that. So even if you're offline, you can use exploit-DB. And the command to use it is searchsploit. However, when we're in Metasploit, we use the search command, and I'm going to look for samba. And we'll see what we get. Well, that's quite a bit. Let me hit my up arrow. And let's look for 3.0.20 right here, like so. And see, oh, look at this. We get this guy. It's a user map script. Now, we used that previously on a different movie, and that does work to allow us to get in and execute commands. However, this isn't really what we're after, because that one was going to work for the port that we were initially connected to, 139. In our case, what we're interested in is port 445, which is an entirely different thing. So what we could do is we could use 0, like so, and show the options. And then we could set it to a different port, but that's not going to get us where we need to go. So I'm going to clear. And instead what I'm going to look for is I'm going to use an auxiliary. So I'm going to say use, and this is an auxiliary tool. It's super useful for us in this case. And it's under admin, SMB, samba, underscore symlink, underscore traversal. Now what is going on here? Well, a symlink, let me see if I can show this to you. I'll grab a new tab here, change to root user, and then clear the screen and cd to etc and do an ls tac l. And what you're going to see is that sometimes you have a little pointer here, just like this thing here. It's a little lighter color and it's pointing to something, and you have an L over here in bit 1. This is a symlink. And the best way to describe this is just to say this is kind of like a shortcut on a Windows desktop. So it's saying the vconsole.configuration file is pointed to default keyboard. Symlinks are a little more complicated in the Linux world than they are in the Windows world, but the main idea, if you think of it as like a shortcut, you'll have essentially the same idea. So if I'm back here in Metasploit, I'm saying I want to work with Samba, and I want to be able to traverse symlinks that are out there. So this is an auxiliary. So I'm going to go ahead and use this auxiliary. And you see that I moved from an exploit to an auxiliary. And this is a file that's designed to help me do some additional work with Metasploit. Now the next thing that I have to do is options. I have to see what options are out there. And you'll notice here that an option that we have to supply is smbshare, and it's talking to port 445. Is that correct? Yes, that's the port that we want to talk to. So this is what we're really looking for. This is the Metasploit tool that we want to use to be able to get after this guy here. The other one would be useful for port 139. Okay, what else do we need? Well, let's look and see. We need our hosts. Okay, so we've got to set those two things. So I'm going to clear the screen. I'm going to set our hosts. And by the way, it doesn't need to be plural if it's a singular host. You can say our host or our hosts. Either way works fine. And then I'm going to put in the address of the Kali box right here, or of the Metasploitable box. Boom, so I've got that. But now what I have to do, we noticed here that when we were out here, let me clear the screen. And I will do an SMB client and hit enter. You notice here that we've got this temp folder out here. That's what we want. That's the SMB share that we want to try to get into. So let's set, and it's called SMB share, and we're going to set it to temp, like so. Beautiful. And now we're going to run this thing and tell it to exploit. Well, wait, Dr. Hellman, you're using an auxiliary. Why will exploit work? Well, it does, because it's going to go out and do some work for us. And what it's going to do is get us into port 45 on the samba share there. And boom, here we are. Okay. Now it says symlink traversal is set to run. Okay, well, what is the next thing that we need to do? There's two things that we can do now. We can go ahead and we can exit this auxiliary because we don't need it anymore. And we can come back here and use SMB client again. So I'll clear the screen here. I'll hit my up arrow, SMB client. But now I want to hit 101, but I want to hit the temp folder like so. Now in this case, we don't need the TACL. So I'm going to come in here and erase this TACL. And I can just use the SMB client to hit this because I already have this thing running, and you're welcome to execute it. It's already been done. We've got the hole drilled for it. But here what I want to do is I want to type in SMB client, give it the Metasploitable to address, and then tell it that I want to go into the temp folder, like so. And I hit enter. We're going to go in with no password. Boom, here we are. Look at this. We've got an SMB prompt here now, and we can start typing in commands like ID, or we can type in commands like, I'm going to change to directories to the root file system. Boom, look at that. I can type in things like, I can change to the Etsy folder. Like this. Wow, look at that. I can list everything that's in that folder. I can do some other stuff. So I can type out the password file here, and it tells me what the passwords are. And so that's the idea. The idea is that we can circumvent stuff using this other protocol, 445 here. We're still using Samba. We're using the SMB daemon. And then when we were in Metasploitable, we used an auxiliary to allow us to do what's called symlink traversal. And what that means then is that we can get around here doing whatever we want to do. And this is actually pretty cool. So that's all I've got for this movie. And I've enjoyed working with you, and I will talk to you in the next movie. Thank you. Bye-bye.